Welcome to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. This is Season 3, Episode 6, Thou Shalt Not Shalt. In the last episode, Sid had a spirited, albeit at times convoluted, conversation with the leader of a local Bhakti Yoga, also known as Hare Krishna, group about whether all that is really all that is. Marcus had met Kesey's parrot Polly enough times to know that he and Sid were birds of an uncommon feather. So he went down for a visit to see how they were getting along. He wasn't disappointed. As soon as Marcus walked into the living room, Polly, who by the way is named after a book of Buddhist sutras, not the famous Polly Wanna-Cracker. Anyway, as soon as Marcus walked into the living room, Polly began swiveling his head left and right until he remembered where he'd seen this guy before and let out a loud, "Kesey!" "No, sorry, Polly. Kesey's not with me," Marcus said. "But he said to give you his love." "Love, Kesey?" Polly said, clearly disappointed. "How are you getting along with Sid, Polly?" Marcus asked, swiveling his head Polly-like between Sid and the parrot. "Sid Buddha!" Polly answered, as if responsible for making the introductions. "This puppy needs a serious rewrite, Grasshopper," Sid said without looking up. He was sitting against the back of the oak trundle daybed that Junior and his juvenile delinquent friends had picked up from a furniture store and assembled the day before. Sid was wearing Mickey Mouse sweats, an old-fashioned bookkeeper's visor, a T-shirt that read, "I Heart Cancer," and a stethoscope around his neck. He had a large book open on the roll-away side table, and the rest of the daybed was strewn with notebooks, clipboards, legal pads, get-well cards, and sticky notes. Beacha and Maxfield, too, were lying contentedly on the pull-out trundle bed, in their lion lying down with lamb position, although it was hard to tell which was which. Sid had one pencil behind his ear, a pen in his mouth, and an oversized highlighter in his left hand. His glasses were propped professorially on the tip of his nose. "I hope it's not the complete works of Shakespeare," Marcus said, looking at the size of the book. "Elmer would smite you." "Excuse me," Sid said, sounding offended. "This is the Holy Bible, not Shakespeare. And I'm talking about the 10 Commandments, not whether it's important for me to be or not to be." "What's the matter with the commandments?" Marcus asked. "A little out of date, maybe." "They're totally one-sided," Sid objected. "Aren't there both shalts and shalt-nots?" Marcus settled himself on the tilting, swiveling orange chair on the other side of the room, preferring to be out of Sid's direct line of fire. 8 shalt-nots and 2 take-no-prisoner shalts, Sid pointed out. "Talk about a buzzkill. No wonder Moses smashed the tablets and spent 40 years wandering in the desert. He climbs all the way up that mountain, almost gets struck by lightning, and this is what he gets." "You are going to hell," Marcus said, before swiveling around to look at Polly instead. "You are one brave bird," he said. Polly clicked his tongue and hopped on one leg, chirping, "Yay, Polly!" "Like this first one," Sid interrupted. "First what?" Marcus asked. "Commandment, pay attention." Right, you mean there'd no other gods before me one?" "Sure is a self-referential bastard, old Yahweh," Sid grumbled. "Yahweh!" "Polly, you're a Buddhist, not a Jew," Marcus explained to the parrot. "Shibu?" Polly asked, looking for confirmation of his religious orientation. "You can worship any gods you want, Polly," Sid said reassuringly. "In fact, as many other gods as you like. Before, behind, and off to both sides of you. The more the merrier. Trust me, the allegedly one God whom Marcus keeps beseeching will be relieved. The smell of burnt lamb makes him nauseated." "I don't remember beseeching. In fact, I don't know if I've ever beseeched anyone," Marcus objected, but Sid stayed on his roll. "Besides, it says before you," he said. "Me?" Marcus asked. Sid nodded. "What does that mean? What do you think it means?" "I don't know. I guess it means there's no need to give up your power to nothing nor nobody," Marcus said. Well, true in principle, the Buddha thought, but they haven't quite figured out which part of their yous is best empowered. "Exactly right," Sid said, "except for all the narcissists, sociopaths, politicians, and other power-mad humans who've made a mess out of that particular so-called commandment." Sid continued to underline, annotate, highlight, and cross out feverishly. Making idols never hurt anybody, he said dismissively. Especially American idols. I can't believe you watched that. Marcus shook his head. Di and I are addicted. I am not, Di called from the next room, displaying her uncanny ability to hear only what she needed to hear while working. Hey, Di, Marcus called. Hey, Marcus, thanks for coming down. Sid actually threatened to leave me the first time he saw Carrie Underwood. She was a goddess, Sid explained, like she had made him do it. Well, she got married, big guy, Di called back. And Marcus pointed out, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, or commit adultery. You want I should cut the thing off? Besides, Carrie's not a neighbor. She lives in like Nashville. Didn't she get divorced? Marcus reluctantly swiveled back to look at Sid, who was muttering, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Polly joined in enthusiastically, parroting another word Kesey had taught him. Meanwhile, the Buddha had gotten a little distracted reminiscing about his lifetime as a brave little parrot who fought a forest fire by dropping beakful after beakful of water until the rains came and put the fire out, saving thousands of little animals. Yay, Polly! Polly clicked his teeth and mumbled quietly to himself. Marcus cleared his throat and held up both hands with forefingers crossed, the universal symbol for, you're going too far. Excuse me, you two. Doesn't King Jimmy say something about not taking the Lord's name in vain? Now, we'll get back to that one, Sid said. You're changing the order of the commandments? Talk about blasphemy, Marcus kidded, even though he could tell Sid, for some reason, wasn't kidding around. You did it first with your self-righteous coveting and adultering, Sid snapped, before taking a quick suck on the sippy cup Casper had given him. Who put water in here? He spit it out. I didn't have any strychnine, Di called in. Marcus, will you close the door? I have work to do. You deal with them. Shall we continue? Sid said in a tone that wouldn't take no for an answer. I think I shall not have a choice, Marcus sighed, slumping against the back of the chair, as Sid continued his forced march through the 10 Commandments. Keep the Sabbath holy? What are the other days, chopped liver? BHM Maxfield II simultaneously looked up hopefully from the trundle bed. Sid looked down and glowered at them. Come on, Sid, that's not fair. You're just teasing them, Marcus objected. Go on, Sid Boo, Polly said, showing solidarity with his new 4-legged friends. But Sid was already on to the next commandment. Honor Mom and Dad, even if they get drunk all the time, slap you around, leave needles everywhere. Spare me. Next. Thou shalt not murder? You mean not go off and slaughter people while singing his name in vain? That's definitely double jeopardy. Does the song Onward Christian Soldiers ring a bell? He started singing it with vicious bombast. Onward Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banner go. That's their idea of a kid's song? He took his pencil and started drawing harsh lines through the commandment, as if crossing out lyrics before looking up at Marcus with a combination of exhaustion and ancient sorrow in his eyes. Can you smell the fire and brimstone, my friend? How long, O Lord? Sid leaned his head back and slid across the back of the couch, falling into a deep sleep. An hour later, Sid woke from his nap and sat up, looking around with a grin as if he didn't remember what he'd been doing or saying. Sid, wake up! Polly screeched with joy, still wondering why nobody told him nap time had been rescheduled. He was glad Sid had come back to his senses. Marcus spent the next few hours with Sid and Diane, eating too much food, drinking too much wine, and watching 5 too many episodes of 6 Feet Under, during which Sid laughed uproariously while Marcus and Di rolled their eyes. When Marcus stumbled to his feet around 11 p.m., Sid objected vigorously. Where the hell are you going? We still have commandments to review. And I'm not done with murder yet. So instead of driving home, Marcus worked his way up to Jake's old room and crashed, probably saving himself a DUI in the process. Sid goes on a crusade. Di never hears him, or so he thinks. 2 or 3 in the morning. Feels his way downstairs, goes to the kitchen for an apple and a gummy. Smoke's bad for Polly. He pauses, picks up a small stool, walks back into the living room, and, for the first time, opens the screen door to the aviary, tiptoes to the corner, puts a little piece of apple on the dinner plate Zoe had Junior hang next to one of the perches, and sets the stool down in the corner. Polly has one eye half open and is slowly, sleepily grinding its beak. He mumbles, not waking up. Sid whispers Polly's name back, and in response, the parrot swivels his head slowly and stretches a little. Sid sits on the stool, lowers his head, and shakes it slowly side to side, as if trying to drive away the images as they begin to pour forth, until one remains, tossing and turning within Sid. I'll ride Cornell to Jerusalem. Get that holy effing grail if it's the last thing I do. Come on, men, let's spread some serious fire and brimstone. Sid stirs as if wondering what all the shouting is about and thinking, only a flesh wound, that's the spirit. He takes a deep breath and the vision vanishes. He's swept up in whirlwinds of dust, distant cries of triumph and terror. Cold, so cold, so cold, so cold. Galloping blindly through the moonless night. He staggers to his feet, manages to avoid a sleepily muttering Polly, shuffles to the daybed, brushes the books, pads, pens out of the way, lies down, and drifts away. Listen, the Buddha whispers softly. No need to understand, just listen. A few minutes later, the lucid liquid dream starts rolling again across Sid's mind's eye in fast forward. And then the voice, guttural, Germanic, statue-like, towering over him, swathed in glinting armor. Suddenly, the visor flies open, and the Crusader looks down at and through Sid before raising his hands toward the heavens as if begging forgiveness. I'm tired of all the secrets and the blood and the bloody secrets. Storming Jerusalem for the love of Christ, slaying the infidels, all for a cup of blood, and an ocean more spilled in his name? Raising our swords in murderous victory, raping and pillaging? Well, why the hell not? Our hearts are broken, but we're too blind to see. Sid feels his mouth begin to move. Somewhere out of here, too much confusion, no relief. That brings a smile to his stirring mind, and the night begins to shimmer away before returning on horseback, as Sid dives back down, feeling the horse's warm breath on him. The Buddha gently takes the reins in his hand and whispers to the horse. It's dangerous for Sid and the Crusader to get any closer, to blend any more. The night begins again to beseech the heavens. Grails of blood, ancient scrolls, illuminated manuscripts. God made us do it. Kill anything in his way. His bones the ultimate reward? For what? For what? Sid's eyes flutter and he squints blindly out the windows behind Polly's cage. A few random stars solve into the image of Christ. Why have you forsaken me? Sid cries out, breaking into a laugh as soon as he hears himself. He slowly reaches out to each side and pulls out the nails as if they were mosquitoes, before shimmying down the cross and walking away. Blood still dripping from his hands as he drifts back into a deep, deep sleep. The Buddha puts his right arm around Christ's shoulder and they walk away, disappearing into the mist. Moses is waiting for them, their broken tablets at his feet. So much work left to do. By the way, I mentioned Crocile as the name of the horse of the Crusader who at the moment is invading Sid's porous mind. It's more of a legendary name, or the word used for this type of horse, or where it came from. Sid doesn't know the knight's name yet, but he'll find out from Zoe, probably in the next episode. After she goes on the same kind of horse chase, I went on trying to find the name of the guy's horse. Thanks as always for listening to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. Paid subscribers get a paperback of Season 1 and Season 2 if you want to catch up.